Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for today's month of service presentation of Coffee and Conversation with the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods and Department Representatives. My name is Nia Murray. I'm Programs Coordinator with Neighborhood Recovery Community Development Corporation, and we are one of the partners in the A Month of Service collaboration. Also included is the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods. And joining us today, we have Ms. Rachel Gutierrez, who will be facilitating this morning's coffee and conversation. Also included in the partnership, we have the Harris Central Appraisal District, Harris County Tax Assessor Collector's Office, the Earl Carl Institute, Houston Bar Association, Lone Star Legal Aid, Houston Volunteer Lawyers, and Texas Legal Services Center. And together we all make up a month of service. And basically what a month of service is a collaboration of all of these organizations. We come together on a monthly basis, offering a variety of different workshops, resources, and information to the community relative to community empowerment, asset building, asset protection, and the maintaining of generational wealth. And today's presentation, we are here for you all have the opportunity to voice your concerns and have conversation and coffee with the City of Houston and the various departments throughout the city so that you get to ask questions, again, voice your concerns about whatever it is that you want regarding what's happening in your particular neighborhood. And today, well, each month, a different department is kind of featured or represented so they can kind of give you updates of what's going on. So you are going to have updates today provided to you by the City of Houston's Department of Neighborhoods. Um, Also to let you know that this session is being recorded as well as being broadcast live on our social media platform on Facebook. So we ask that you try to keep your questions to be general and not divulge any personal detailed information in regards to like, your home address or anything like that for everybody to actually have access to. So we want to try to protect your privacy as much as we possibly can. So do keep that in mind. But again, we do encourage you to ask questions and be as engaging as you'd like to be as the presentation is presented for you today. If you are joining us on Zoom, please feel free to type your question into the chat section and we will make sure that your question is read aloud at the end of the presentation, as well as if you are joining on Facebook, please feel free to type your question into the comment section and we'll make sure that your question is heard aloud there as well. So without further ado, I'd like to go ahead and turn it over to Ms. Rachel Gutierrez, who can give you more information about the coffee and conversation and what's going to be presented for you today from the Department of Neighborhoods. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Nia. Good morning, everyone. Good morning online. As Nia mentioned, my name is Rachel Gutierrez. I am a community outreach coordinator for the Department of Neighborhoods, Office of Neighborhood Engagement. I've been in this role for 3 years, but I've been with the city overall for 10. I have the responsibility of right now of doing a little bit of everything just because obviously the change of administration, we've been in a transition within our department. So my general overall program is the civic leadership program where we basically gather emerging leaders who are wanting to be more civically engaged in their communities. We teach them, we give them educational resources that they can apply to help them become more civically engaged and more effective leaders in their community. It was a program that was known as the Complete Communities University. I guess I could go ahead and say that in the fall we're going to resume. It might be under a different name, but it's still this basic or the same concept of providing those who are want to be advocates in their community with resources, training. We get them connected to expertise, individuals that have background in the topics that we are offering. Usually, how it works is the first half is about getting to know the city, what the city does, what we don't do, what a few of our departments do, what they don't do, how to navigate the city services so that they know, hey, this department does this, or the way the city operates handling this issue or this potential initiative. It gives you a better insight on that. And then the second half is more on a professional development type course or way of course, where we, talk about leadership, where we talk about how to mobilize your community and get them more, and how to get them more engaged. So it's an 8-week program, and again, we're looking to pick it back up in the fall. But as far as the other things that are within our division, we do have several other. So the Department of Neighborhoods is made up of five divisions, and within those divisions are many programs that we have available for the community at free of charge. And so we definitely want for you guys to be able to take advantage of those initiatives and programs because, like I said, it's free. And the more that, we see that there's a need, the more programs that we are able to provide. And so today what we're going to do is generally talk about what those programs make of and answer any questions that you may have regarding the Department of Neighborhoods. So I brought a couple of my colleagues who oversee a few of those programs, and they'll talk about it in depth a little bit more. And then if you want to hold to the end, and we'll be able to answer your questions regarding that. So first, what we're going to do, also let me just stop and acknowledge our division manager, Mr. Paul Green. He's in the back. For those online, he'll be able to come up here and say hi to you guys online. And then my other colleagues are here and there. I'll just introduce them once they come to talk about each program. But first, I want to bring up Ms. Myra J. Cox. Mariah, sorry. Oh, you guys might have known Myra. She was the OG of our department, and she and she handled coffee and conversation in the month of service program, and she went to greener pastures as far as enjoying retirement. But she was a staple in the community. And when just because she's no longer here with us, and as far as the department, we want to make sure we continue with providing the services that obviously she oversaw. So Mariah will be talking about. So Mariah will talk about the division that she's a part of and the services that they provide. So I'm going to step away.
Hello guys online, good morning, how you guys doing today? My name is Mariah. Like she said, our services are free. I work with the Mayor's Office of Gang Prevention and Intervention. So what we do is do prevention and intervention work. So I actually was just coming from a school where I do Ladies Choice Group, where we talk about social skills, so about affirmations, we talk about life skills, and I was seeing my girls one-on-one. This is a busy week for me, so we just did a presentation. We do bring awareness to students, we do them to parents, and we also provide services that kids that may be gang related. So for instance, maybe there's a gang fight or something that happens at school, they'll contact us, we get involved, and we try to we try to have safety within the school. So we're big on, not preventing gang violence. We do what we need to do. We talk to the parents, talk to the schools, we get comfortable with the kids, we get to learn about them and any services they may need, like IDs. Some of the schools, they may need Social Security. They have some of our kids are on probation. A lot of kids we work with may be on probation. So we provide them with community service hours. So we're like a mentor for them. Any type of resources that we need, we're in the school, we're based in the schools. We work with probation officers, the schools, and we try to just prevent as much as we can the violence within the schools districts. We also do after school activities. So Fobolito is something that we do where we do soccer. We try to prevent safety for them in some safe space. So since COVID happened, we can't do the things we used to do. So we'll do things such as we'll take them to the movies, bring nachos and games and do things like that. So that's kind of the background of our program and kind of the services and the things that we provide for them. And this is not my side of town. I started off in Pasadena. We're kind of short thing too, so I'm kind of everywhere right now. So I know on this side there's more push up and scoot up, and my coworkers work at Worthing. I'm currently in the north side right now, so I'm learning the different gangs over there. More of cliques that we have too. It comes from communities. So our big thing is just to stay aware, watch the news. We touch up on bases and shootings that happen within the community. So yeah, that's kind of the background and kind of things that we do. If their fight happens, we'll come after school sometimes to see what's going on. We'll be in the lunchroom to observe kids so we can learn the kids. We will also do schools. When school's letting out, we'll see, the kids that are going on, talk with the kids, kind of see what's going on. So the main thing is we try to keep the peace, right? The peace within the schools. We're not cops. We work with the cops, but we're not cops. So if we can help with the community, we'll try to stop it. But our main focus is school. We're mostly school based. So we try to help out as much as we can. Graffiti that happens, they'll call and assist us. We'll try to help them know what gangs they are. So that's kind of the bulk of our program, kind of what we do. Yeah, have any questions for me? Huh? Oh, yeah, sorry, say we're into the end. Thank you guys for your time. Yes.
So up next, we'll have Mr. Roman Aguilar. He is from our Office of Neighborhood Engagement.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Roman Aguilar, and I am with the Office of Neighborhood Engagement in the Department of Neighborhoods. I currently oversee a few programs, and I'm going to talk briefly on each program. Whew. The first program, I am the Chief Service Officer for the city's Volunteer Initiatives Program. And what I do every day is organize, plan, different volunteer opportunities that constituents can get involved with either our office or with other departments or divisions in the city of Houston. I manage the portal where I respond to constituents that register for upcoming events. I post them monthly. So all that information is online on our webpage. And so there's always new things coming up. I get a lot of requests from organizations, schools, fraternities, churches that want to get involved in different volunteer opportunities and needs. And so I just kind of help create them and organize them so that we can get them going across the city. I'm not in one area specifically. I'm across the city when it comes to volunteer needs and opportunities. But if any of y'all are interested in coming out, feel free to reach out to me and we can definitely invite you to come out and volunteer with the city of Houston. Any questions regarding the volunteer initiatives program? Yes.
How do you get in contact with you?
So the best way to get in contact with me is through my email, and that is roman.aguilar@houstontx.gov. Or you can reach out to me via my office number at 832-393-1043. You're welcome. Any other questions regarding the city's volunteer program? Online? Any questions online? Okay. Another program that I oversee is called the Matching Grants Program. The Matching Grant Program is a program in partnership with the city's council's office and the Department of Neighborhoods, where we can help match up to 50% of a project's total budget up to $5,000. So any beautification project that a organization is interested in putting on in their community within the city of Houston, those projects have to get pre-approved by your council member. The application process begins on July 1st, and you have until August 31st to get it pre-approved by your council member within your district where you're trying to do a project in. The project, in order to apply for the grant, you have to be a nonprofit, 501c3 or 501c4 organization. And if you are not a 501c3 or 4, you can partner with a 501c3 or 4 to apply for the grant for the matching grant project. The most you can get approved for is $5,000. The least you can get approved for is $500. Very important, if your total budget on your project is over $10,000, if it's $15,000, $20,000, remember that the most you can get approved for is $5,000. So just keep that in mind. Yes.
And this is for beautification project, right?
Yes.
So, or if nonprofit can identify an area
So how do we know that we have, are there any permits that we need to get?
Yes, so I'm gonna get to that in a second. Very good question. So,
I just want to make sure that the people online are hearing the questions. If you're not hearing the questions that are being asked, Roman, if you could just repeat it for the people online.
you can hear me? Okay, great, thank you. So, once you complete that pre-approved intent to apply portion of the application, it's due by August 31st. If you do not submit that with your approval signature from your council member within where the project is going to be in within that district, you cannot move forward. But if you do submit it on time, then you have 60 days from September 1st to November 1st to complete the application. In the application, you are going to have, we give you 60 days because it's a bit of a process. You're going to have to submit a budget of a quote of what everything is gonna cost, the invoices. You're going to have to submit, depending on what your project is, you may need approvals from different city departments. So, for example, if you are doing a esplanade or working on some tree plantings on an esplanade or at a park, those are just some examples of projects that I get a lot of. You would need an approval from the City of Houston Parks and Recreation Department and the Houston Public Works Department. Sometimes that takes a while to get those approvals. That's why we give you 60 days. For me, the best advice I will give everybody that's completing a matching grant application is try to do that right off the bat, because that's going to take your longest time. You're going to need to submit a scope of work. You're going to need to submit letters of support from somebody from the community, whether that's commercial, residential, neighbors, businesses. Those are some things that you're gonna need to submit. Yes, I see in the back, you have another question?
All of the, I guess, specifications that we need in order to complete the grant available after the application, like if we get an email with all of this explained as far as next steps.
Yes, so beginning, right now, we are in the second phase of the matching grant
Okay.
for those that applied last year. Beginning July 1st, we will open up the process for the next fiscal year's application process. In order to get started, you will have to watch a training video that is online, that is on the webpage of the matching grants, and I'll give you that information in a second. But once you watch that training video, everything that I'm kind of explaining right now will be explained in that training video. Once you complete the video, I will receive an email stating that you have completed the video, and then we'll begin communicating via email back and forth with the next process. So, but everything that I'm explaining right now is pretty much phase one. So once the application has gotten submitted to me by November 1st, remember that those deadlines are key. If they are not submitted by November 1st, then I cannot take the application and you will have to reapply the following year. I get the application, I submit all the forms and everything that you submitted to me to our director from the Department of Neighborhood for approval. Then it'll be followed by the legal department, then it'll get followed by the mayor's office. Once the application gets approved by all parties, I will get back to you to let you know you can begin the second phase of the matching grant application process, which is phase two, beginning working on your project. You will usually you get that right around the holidays towards the end of December or the beginning of January, but you have until May 31st to complete that project. Right now, like I mentioned earlier, we're currently in the second phase of last year's applications. And so a lot of my folks that applied last year are submitting stuff right now as we speak. You have to submit a photo of the completed project and all the invoices that come with the project. Bank statements, check statements, credit card statements, receipts, anything that you use to pay for the project needs to be submitted to me before May 31st so that you can get reimbursed. Okay. The project needs to be paid in full. Yeah, I knew that was coming, I could tell. The project needs to be paid in full in order to get reimbursed by the city. So.
And so you may not get everything back because it's between 500 and 5,000. So it's a toss up on whether what you invested is actually coming back to the organization.
Correct. Very important that if you get approved by your council member up to $5,000, that you do not start on that project until you get the approval letter from the Department of Neighborhood stating you can begin.
Right.
Because if you started on your project in, say, November, and you got receipts from November 15, November 20, but you didn't get approved until January, you cannot submit those receipts to get reimbursed. So it's very important that, yes, wait for those approvals in order to begin your project. But those are very good questions. I appreciate those questions. I get them all the time, so thank you. Yes.
Is there anything allocated to sustain the beautification of the project?
No, so in the application process, that's a question that you're gonna be asked, how are you going to sustain the project? So, no, you cannot, there's nothing that'll come with sustaining the project. Some examples are, just to throw some out, I know I mentioned earlier, tree planting and esplanades, we talked about. The question was, are there any funds to sustain the project? The answer is, through the matching grant, no, in your application, you have to state how you are going to sustain the project moving forward from the grant that you're approved for. So examples again, stop signages in the neighborhoods. I get a lot of requests for signs in the neighborhood that they want to put a new sign up or work on the one that's existing that maybe is not in good shape, right? I get a lot of, like I mentioned earlier, esplanades, gardening, murals. I think one of the most unique ones that I've done since I've been here is somebody requested to put a recycling bin in one of the community parks in District I, which I thought was awesome. It was a heart-shaped recycling bin that was placed at a park, and I thought it was amazing. Mark and I went out there and took video of it, and so the sky's the limit. As long as, like I said, you get with me early and let me know what you're applying for, I can kind of guide you on some of the yes and some of the no's. Really important, whatever project you're going to work on, if you're interested in applying for the matching grant, you got to remember that it has to be accessible to the public. The project has to be accessible to the public. Any other questions? Online or questions online regarding the matching grant?
Can you just repeat your email address one more time?
Yes, so again, my information is Roman Aguilar. My email is Roman, ROMAN, .Aguilar, AGUILAR, at HoustonTX.gov. My office number is 832-393-1043. And for those in person, I actually brought some flyers for the matching grant with all the information that I kind of spoke about with my email and the webpage. For those of you online, Ms. Rachel will assist me with typing in the matching grants webpage so that you can have my information or read up on anything that's coming up regarding the matching grant program. I want to thank Ms. Rachel for inviting me out here. Thank you, Mr. Green. One last program that I want to talk about before I complete today's presentation is we are also offering the Good Neighbor program that I am overseeing in District D. Specifically, the Good Neighbor program consists of a partnership between the Office of Neighborhood Engagement and Career and Recovery Resources. What Career and Recovery Resources does is they go out and provide landscaping services to seniors in the District D community. So you can apply, again, sending me an email if you are interested in applying for a senior that may need those type of services or assistance. You have to be over the age of 65. You have to be, or not have to be, but you could be a widow or a widower of a veteran. You could be a veteran that may need these assistance services. And again, just reaching out to me. You can also have, I'm sorry, if you are a senior with disabilities as well, you can also reach out to get these type of services. Once you submit the application to me, I will get in contact with Career and Recovery Resources team, and then I will provide you a date when they will come out to provide those services for seniors in the District D community.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Is that in here?
Say it again?
Is that information on that in here?
No, it's not, and I did not bring a flyer for that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But our division manager Green did ask me to speak on that. It's a program that's not funded across the city, but in District D specifically it is. And so that's why I wanted to mention it here today, because we are in District D today. So again, just like I mentioned earlier, email or my office number if you have any additional questions. I want to thank Rachel again for allowing me to come here and speak on these wonderful programs that the Office of Neighborhood Engagement provides to constituents in the city. And I thank you guys for having me, and look forward to hearing from you all soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Roman. And for the people online, I will enter his information in the chat shortly. But next, I want to bring up, some of you may know, since if you're in the district, our mayor's assistance office, we have 2 representatives from this area. And so simultaneously, they can tag team and come up here and talk about what they do in the mayor's assistance office on behalf of Department of Neighborhood. So Eldridge Pugh and Sandra Cortez.
Good morning. Everyone see me and everyone hear me? I'm Eldridge Pugh, and I am the Mayor's Assistance Office Community Liaison for this area. My office is about 5 miles away. Can you see me? Let me take my hat off. Can you see me now? Okay. All right. One of my primary duties is to provide administrative support for the Super Neighborhoods Program, City of Houston Super Neighborhoods Program. And secondary to that, but not least importantly, is constituent services. I spend a majority of my day taking calls, emails, walk-ins from citizens who need services, they need assistance, they need nonprofit help, they need a liaison between city departments and the mayor's office to get things done. My job is to multitask all day long. I'm a cheerful giver. I do house calls. I really do. I don't like to sit in an office all day. If you have an issue or a concern, I am more than willing to come out to you. We work hard to make sure that you believe in the process. My job is to continue to work tirelessly to put a smile on your face. I specialize in seniors. I speak their language. My colleague Sandra, she covers a geographical area too. I cover this area, but I also start at 45, and I cover most of the neighborhoods all the way out to McHard Road and 288. So it's quite a bit of surface area to cover. I have been here with the city for about 2 years in this role, but maybe 7 years total. If you'd like to contact me, if I can assist you, my number is 832-393-4063. That's 832-393-4063. Are there any questions, comments, concerns?
Just the capacity of working with elderly, what does that look like?
It could be cat in the tree. It could be a garbage can issue. It could be a senior citizen needing their yard cut. It's whatever you can think of that a citizen could need. My job is to find a resource, solve the problem. And sometimes we have to think out of the box. We have lots of things in our toolbox, and we have to be realistic. We can't solve every problem, but I try to solve as many problems as I can. Anyone else?
I have a question.
Ma'am?
Brookhaven is my community.
Okay.
And there was finances allocated to get our speed bumps, but I saw that there's a program that may wipe all of that out.
Okay. When
Through
did
the mayor, I saw it online, maybe through the NRC.
Okay.
It was like everybody and their mama wanted some speed bumps, and that's not realistic. And so we're gonna relook at the speed bump situation.
Okay.
And we were supposed to get ours starting in July of this year. And it talked about the cost, which was a kind of a surprise to me, that each speed bump, for whatever reason, cost $6,000 a piece. And it was like the money could be better spent somewhere else, you know. But for me and my community, people coming down my streets really, really fast with children and seniors and all of this, I don't know where you can spend it in a better place.
Okay.
It also talked about maybe not doing every street, you know, even though my neighborhood is 5 streets, east and west, and 3 blocks north and south. So that's not a huge area. And when I did discuss with my city council office, who sent us information that we had been okay, which is should ask. They didn't even want to try to do different streets because it felt like if you did this street and not this street, then the traffic would just go to another street and speed in and out of the neighborhood. So it was just my concern that in our traditionally black communities, that the speed bumps would not be given.
I think I probably should defer to the district D office. I will talk with Mr. James about that when I get back to my office to see what decisions have been made regarding speed bumps and reconstruction on these 5 streets.
Okay.
Anyone else? Ma'am.
I'm reflecting, what's your name?
Freeze Davis.
Ms. Davis. I just found out that I would have to do an application for speed bumps. My mother, she lives, in, off of Rosedale in 3rd Ward. So I don't know where the speed bumps came from, because we needed them for years. We came back in 2009. And, they just recently put some in, but I don't know the area that I live off Covenant, 610. And reflecting on what she's saying, that predominantly black neighborhoods don't get speed bumps. And the speed that the people come down the streets is unbelievable. And you can kind of hear it in your house. And so I haven't done my process yet with the application. I just came in, so forgive me for being late. I don't know your name, but I do want to see and check about speed bumps in my area too.
Okay. I'm willing
And
to
we had it
follow
on
up.
the list for about 8 years.
And Dr. Shabazz is our councilwoman. She lives down the street from us, so, yeah.
Anyone else?
We'll get, like Elder said, we'll get your contact information and we'll follow up and we'll get back to you once we hear back from District D.
Thank you.
I have more.
Come on.
I live in a predominantly senior neighborhood. I'm grateful for the young people who are moving into our little small community. But the seniors seem to have the most trouble getting assistance from the easements that flood behind our house, from new homes being built and built up higher than the homes that were there before that are now flooding. And there seems to be nothing that we can do about it. We have some of the neighbors are even paying out of their pocket.
Are we talking easements needing mowing?
No, we're talking, I don't even know if we call it easement anymore. They're just from one street to the other street, where we back up against each other.
Okay.
Like, I'm on Teresa, and then there's Danube, and then there's Danube and Independence. And the people between Danube and Independence, for whatever reason, it floods terrible in there too. You know, we got every rodent, every issue, and we have done the 311. Our ditches don't drain properly. We've done the 311. We have committees in our community. Their job is to do 311 on this position, 311, you take care of this one, 311, and it's no matter how many 311s, no matter how many photographs we put in there, it just seems that we are ignored.
Well, one thing I can do is when you make a 311 complaint, if you save the service request number, And this year we'll start with 2400-2401. Call me. I will work on the legwork, making sure that I can get that service request followed up. And I will be able to give you something on it. Now, if they say that's a county issue, then we'll have to go to the county. And I'm not sure if it's, if there are ditches back there that need regrading, culverts that need cleaning. I can work on that.
We like our ditches because it keeps our community from flooding, but we also need to keep, when the city puts in new rules that you have to grade your property taller when you build new, but then the city should make the adjustment for what's going to happen to the person behind you.
Okay.
And when Dwight Barton was there, he did put on some boots and he came and walked through all the water. And since then, we haven't had anybody else concerned that show up. We send photos and everything, you know, so I don't know what it takes to, for the city to find an interest in our communities, but I'm going to send you, because I have plenty of those numbers, because I collect them, and I do put them in an email, and I do send them to my city council's office, because she has said 1,000 times that 10,000 meetings, 311 is your first, and I am your second. Well, my second is not showing up.
Okay.
So I'm gonna make you my third.
Okay.
If we can, I'm sorry, if we can just hold for the questions to the end so that we can get through the rest of our presentation, then we'll be able to answer your questions. Just because we have a couple more people to get the and I don't want to run out of time. Even though we're here till 12, I want to make sure all of the information is out, and then we can hold questions to the end. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
And you're writing your name?
My name?
Yes.
Eldridge.
Eldridge.
Eldridge Pugh. That's ELDRIDGE.
Thank you, Eldridge.
Last name PEUGH.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sandra Cortez. I am the Super Neighborhood Coordinator. I am actually both that and the CL for the Northeast area. So I have the super neighborhoods that are 610 and up and 59 and over, along with all of the super neighborhoods within the city of Houston. There are currently 88 super neighborhoods, but only around 48 that are actually active. Sunnyside just actually became active this year, and they are now having their monthly meetings here at the Sunnyside Multi-Service Center. I'm sorry. It is one of 3 or technically 4 super neighborhoods within this area of District 3 that came back active. It is also South Park, which is 72, and the South Acres
74.
77, 76,
and
77. Sorry, they're together. And Minitex, they also came up and became active this year. The super neighborhood, as a super neighborhood coordinator, I actually will be going through all of the bylaws for all of the super neighborhoods and making sure they are updated. We did put out brand new guidelines for the super neighborhoods so that things like elections, election processes, as well as seats were actually looked at, and all things like no fees for participation were included within the bylaws of all the super neighborhoods, because some did have a few things missing. So hopefully the next year coming, the super neighborhoods will be running a little bit smoother for some that have had some issues in the past. They have until the 30th of this year of June to actually update all of their super neighborhood bylaws. And currently they do have some administrative money to help the super neighborhoods do some activities, as well as actually promote within the super neighborhoods themselves, getting signage out or anything else they see, mailers that they might need to get more community members involved, because that is one of the most important part of the super neighborhood is involvement from the residents, community leaders, and different civic clubs. You all see what the problems are, and you can come together within the super neighborhood and make the city aware, because sometimes what is a problem within one civic club may not be happening in another, and we may not know. So If you need any information for your area, maybe you don't live in the Sunnyside, you just work here, and you want to know whether or not a super neighborhood is active, you can always go to our website, which I think I have flyers for, and you can actually see who is your CL by putting your address in. You can see which super neighborhoods are active, and if they're not active and you would like to reactivate them, you can always contact me specifically, and we can go through the process of what it is you would need to reactivate a super neighborhood. Yeah, there you go. My name is Sandra Cortez. My phone number is 832-393-5493. Finally remembered it. And my email address is sandra.cortez at houstontx.gov. I'm sorry. And I'll repeat that phone number one more time, 713-393-5493. Thank you. 832. Oh wait, what did I say? 83. I'm sorry, I'm putting 71. 832-393-5493. Sorry. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them. Okay.
All right. Very quickly, I'm going to talk about one more program that the Office of Neighborhood Engagement has, and that's our Mayor Youth Council. What our Mayor Youth Council basically is, it mimics the actual city council. So we get high school students to become part of their council. They represent the district that they live in on the Mayor's Youth Council, and they work on or they create initiatives that they want to address that is affecting their students their age in high school. So, for instance, we have they have a committee for environmental justice. They have a committee for mental health. They have a committee as far as civic engagement, voter education. So that happens once a year. So they're obviously, because the school year is ending, they'll be ending this cohort's. They'll be ending this cohort in May. And then the next cohort will start in the fall semester. How they get involved is there's an application that they can complete again on our website, departmentofneighborhoods.gov. I'll put that information out. Oh, you already put it in the chat, right? So if they're interested in becoming on board, there's an application process, interview process. A lot of our schools that we partner with know about the program, and so a teacher or a principal might recommend a student to be on the council, or they might hear it from previous participants that were in the program. So that's a different avenue for our youth to be able to get involved, not just in politics, but as far as like being civically engaged. A lot of our students are on their student councils in their schools. So it's a great avenue for them to see what on this side, how the city operates, and they, it helps them prepare for their future endeavors if that's something that they wish to pursue professionally. So that's on the Mayor's Youth Council. And then lastly, what we have available to speak on today is our inspections and services department, our IPS department, and Mr. Brian, he'll be talking about that. And they are the bulk of what we do here in the Department of Neighborhoods. This is like our big brother of of our department. So let me show you have a presentation. Yeah. Let me share screen.
I probably need to get into it first.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Just bear with me for a second. It's all good. All right, so my presentation, I'm going to limit it down some because you guys had such strong speakers that dealt with specifics that my presentation also covers, including the Office of Neighborhood Engagement, as well as the mayor's assistant's office and the other different divisions. So I'm going to touch specifically on the inspections and public service division this morning. Hopefully I have this thing set up the right way. All right, so my name is Brian Rice. Okay. Is that it? Again, if you guys could just bear with us. I kind of hooked up my device at the last moment. And all my stuff is on my device. You can do it from okay. All right.
Uh-oh, what happened? Can you see it?
All right, so familiar face up there, matter of fact, yeah, anyway. So my name is Brian Rice. I'm a code enforcement officer with the City of Houston Department of Neighborhoods Inspections and Public Service Division. The Inspections and Public Service Division is your code enforcement branch of the Department of Neighborhoods. We're the people who respond to service requests throughout the city and actually send inspecting staff out to inspect the conditions, to notice owners of deficiencies on their properties, and to enforce the code of municipal ordinances here in the City of Houston. As part of our responsibility, of course, there is some engagement with the public to the degree that we actually speak with the public on a regular basis as we deal with specific property owners.
Sorry, it's
No problem.
Is it showing now? Is it showing now, Nia?
Go in there. I'm sorry, online folks, just bear with us. We want to make sure that you can see this presentation. Good. All right. So again, I'm actually the division trainer for the Inspections and Public Service Division. I train our code enforcement officer staff as well as our admin folks for various things, onboarding and so forth and so on. But without further ado, let me just jump into this presentation a bit. I'm going to kind of slide past all this other stuff because we kind of touched on that. So the Inspections and Public Service Division, we work to improve the quality of life in the neighborhoods. We do this by working against visual blight situations, public nuisances, as well as minimum standard violations within the City of Houston. The Assistant Director of the department is Reginald Harris. He is also the head of the Inspections and Public Service Division. So Inspections and Public Service, we address certain issues within the city. One of them is overgrown vegetation. This is our primary violation out of all our violations. We have quite a bit of growth here in the city of Houston. This is a subtropical climate and things don't need much care. The ground is very fertile and stuff grows. As part of city ordinance, any vegetation that exceeds 9 inches in height is considered to be a weed and should be maintained below that height. In circumstances where weeds are in excess of 48 inches, which is 4 feet, they're considered to be an immediate danger to the health and safety of the immediate surrounding vicinity and people who occupy that area. In those situations, we don't even send notice, we will correct that, take city corrective action to abate, basically take corrective action to cut those situations so that we can address those issues of safety. So emergency abatement is a thing in terms of what that is. Again, state law allows for us to do such corrective action if necessary. Again, this is something that it becomes an issue more in the growth season than the off season during the quote unquote winter months here in Houston. I'm from the Northeast. I don't really see a winter in Houston, but hey, I'm loving it. All right, one of the other issues we deal with are inoperable motor vehicles and what are called junk vehicles per the state of Texas. Inoperable motor vehicles that are openly stored on properties become a nuisance violation if they remain openly stored and inoperable for more than 30 consecutive days per state law. those situations. Hold on one second, we got a little feedback in the room. Good. All right, so those situations are normally handled by us noticing the owners of those properties and of the vehicles so that we can get those vehicles either properly stored or removed from the property. So one of the things that the ordinance specifically specifies in our chapter 10 of Code of Ordinances is that no person who owns or controls or occupies real property shall use the property for the open storage of a dead tree. It goes on to say refuse, glass, building material, and any openly stored inoperable motor vehicle. So for the purpose of what we enforce, an inoperable motor vehicle is considered to be a vehicle that is incapable of use for its intended purpose or reasonably appearing to be incapable of use for its intended purpose. So basic purpose for a motor vehicle in terms of a car, a passenger truck, or something of that nature is to be a method of conveyance. If they can't drive it and can't use it, it should be stored inside a structure to avoid being in violation of city ordinance. Another major issue here in the city is trash and rubbish. And I'm not talking about the illegal dump trash and rubbish. I'm talking about people who don't maintain their properties and have quite a bit of trash and rubbish on the property. This is also a violation of city ordinance. As you can imagine, this impacts an entire neighborhood. If neighborhoods are not maintained in a way where you have, let's just say, one or two people in an area that maintain properties with this type of violation, it can contribute to obviously rodents and other type of activity that we want to avoid, disease and so forth. So these are also issues that we deal with, again, in Inspections and Public Service Division, commonly known as IPS. One of the things that people don't realize is that we also enforce minimum standard violations. We do enforce these with residential properties of up to two residential units. We do not enforce over two. 3 or more are enforced by Public Works. Habitability enforces those, but we do deal with residential properties. So we do receive service requests from tenants of properties, and some of those issues can be utility standards such as improper electrical wiring, plumbing that's substandard condition, as well as structural standards. I've actually gone out in the field prior to getting this role that I'm in now, and I've had people who are getting rainwater coming in through their homes as they reside there. And most of the time, the term slum lord, I know it's used very loosely, but we're dealing with people who are not maintaining the property, but renting it out or leasing it to folks. And it's, again, it's a substandard living condition. So what we enforce is the minimum standard that people should be able to enjoy to reside in a place, especially if they're, legally supposed to be there and they're paying to be there. Another issue that we have here in the city of Houston is visual blight, aka graffiti. We also enforce graffiti. Currently, our processes are changing. The division would, in the past, abate these issues, take corrective action with a waiver signed by the property owner or person having control of the property, which would permit us to come in and paint over this material or, this material, whatever it's unauthorized graffiti. We're not talking about murals, we're talking about stuff, etching, scratching, spray painted stuff that is, regardless of the content of what's being said, but it contributes to the blight of the community. That process is in flux of changing. There may be a cost associated with it moving forward, but right now we're still doing this free of charge, and we can do this with donated paints that we often get, or paint that's acquired through resources other than having to pay for them. The thing is that with these type of violations, we cannot guarantee a color match. Our concern, you may not get a color match. Yeah, it won't be as extreme as paint. It'll be a base color, probably a white or a tan. But our concern is to cover the blight, not so much to beautify. We'll put a base coat down there, and then the property owner can always repaint the structure. And again, this is enforced on structures, dumpsters, or other things in the area. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So the services the other things that you mentioned before, are the services donated through Dawn, or like how are you charging the property owner, and how do the renovations or fixes happen from your standpoint? Because
Right.
we see those yellow signs all over the place.
Yeah. So what we do primarily, and I was going to get into that a little bit further, but I'll just touch on it a bit now. So ultimately, the property owner is responsible for the property. Okay, that's the ultimate end of this thing. However, if the property owner does not take corrective action, the city will do so in circumstances that warrant it. Okay, those yellow signs you see are a form of notice that we utilize. We have to, by law, notice these property owners with the exception of emergent situations. So when we do have situations where we have violations that we receive, we come out, we notice them, and we send them a notice. We give them the required amount of time per state law to take corrective action. And after that, then that's when, tickets start coming if necessary, and further corrective action by the city comes. Usually that corrective action is taken and there's a fee associated with it that is basically placed on the property in form of a lien.
Lien, okay,
Yeah.
okay, got it.
All right. So stagnant water is another big one. I'm not going to beat it too much, but of course we are again in a subtropical climate. Water that accumulates, whether it be in a wheelbarrow, something like this, or buckets, contributes to mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are a vector for disease. There are over 3,000 different types of mosquito species in the city of Houston, and many of them do carry various diseases. So obviously we want to minimize that type of situation with this type of enforcement. It should be noted though, in terms of pools and aquatic structures, we normally refer those to the health department. They enforce chapter 43 for those type of structures. We deal with the smaller issues in terms of accumulation of water, stagnant or flowing. In that case, that would harborage, mosquitoes or mosquito larvae. Open excavation is another violation we deal with from time to time. Usually see situations like this after demolitions or protrusions from the ground will also be a violation under this area. Incomplete construction that presents a hazard to the surrounding community. This is a big one that we get from time to time as well. It's a minimum standard type violation, but it is one of the most health impacting ones, discharging raw sewage. We often get these in situations where the plumbing is not maintained in a facility or a home, and you'll get these clean outs where it takes the path of least resistance and you'll get raw sewage leaking out. This is one where we require corrective action to take place in 24 hours because obviously it's impacting the health of the community. Okay, broken fences and accessory structures. Again, these are minimum standard violations. We don't take corrective action on these. We do issue citations. So fences, carports that are not structurally sound and maintained in good condition, this would be an issue that we would address. And for right now, solid waste violations, your heavy trash violations, your trash cans openly stored in public view. Currently, we do enforce this. However, solid waste management does maintain a code enforcement staff. They've increased their staff and they will be taking this responsibility sometime in the future. But currently, they're still being rerouted to division, IPS division, and we are addressing these issues. If you don't know, there's a zero tolerance in effect in the city and has been for several administrations of mayor that has consistently stayed the same. We tend to issue citations when people are placing these items at the wrong time, whether they place them early or allow them to remain. Obviously, this would be another situation where you're dealing with refuse that is being kept out on the street and contributing to blight and other issues. Dangerous buildings is a big one as well. We deal with dangerous buildings from the aspect of, again, properties that have less than 3 residential structures on them, or one structure with less than 3 units. Anything over 3 goes to public works, but we handle these dangerous structures. So basically unsecured structures that are structurally not sound as well and have various violations. These would be issues that the division would manage. I'm sorry. Okay, so our division also maintains a team of a bandit sign team. They proactively remove these bandit signs. Bandit signs are signs basically placed on easements, medians, utility poles, utility boxes, and otherwise. They are legal throughout the state of Texas, and they are illegal by city ordinance. This is a problem that is nationwide, and it is a significant problem here in the city of Houston. Basically, our bandit sign team in fiscal year 2023 removed 60,000 of these signs from our public roadways and issued 748 citations. If you knew the scope of how big this was, it is really a heavy lift, major undertaking. Our bandit sign team consists of 6 people. Yeah. 6 people out there every day removing these signs. In some cases, as soon as they're removed, they're placed by someone else right behind them.
Based on how many of them I see, I would never have guessed that they were illegal.
Yeah, they are legal. They're actually, our former director, Takasha Francis, was part of a team that went up to Austin to kind of advocate for a more stricter fine for these type of things, because if there's anything that can contribute to blight, it's these signs all over the place, and I see it everywhere. I'm actually outside of the city limits. I hope Montgomery County picks up and gets a little bit more active, because we have an issue up there as well. Again, this is a nationwide issue.
Recording in progress.
All right, so one of the things that we deal with also is obviously rodents. This guy right here. We do have ordinances that specifically deal with rodent harborage, whether it's stored material on the ground or whether it's open animal feed. We have multiple ordinances that we enforce in regards to rodent harborage. One of the little known things known about the Department of Neighborhoods that we do damage assessments. We actually respond to natural disasters or other catastrophic events to assess damage. That damage assessment that we do actually comes in the form of a report, and this is how we get these disaster declarations following major events such as Harvey and major storms such as Imelda that I participated in. We basically coordinate with the Office of Emergency Management, and we go out and we have to physically assess properties to see the significance of the impact of how these properties have been damaged. And we forward that information to state and federal agencies, as well as coordinate with the county or counties in this case. In the city of Houston, we span over 3 counties, most of it Harris, but Fort Bend, as well as Montgomery County, a little bit of it is within our city limits. Again, this is a major undertaking for the staff that we have. Basically, it's all hands on deck. The last time we had a major incident, we actually enlisted some of the assistance of Public Works to make sure that we could cover the major flooding incidents we had. All right, I'm going to touch on this. I don't know how much more time I have. Quick.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to go over a real quick overview of the code enforcement process. Basically, most of our work comes in via 311, and I know you had mentioned 311. 311 is a major system, and that's how we get our stuff in. In fiscal year 2023, Don IPS basically handled 16,136 nuisance service requests. We handled 6,914 heavy trash service requests, 874 dangerous building service requests, and 6,315 other types of service requests. That basically a total of 30,239 service requests received via 311. Okay, that's all of our staff handling all of this stuff with just that. Now, that's not the only way we get stuff. Sometimes we get stuff from the mayor's assistant's office. They're good for handling your request and making sure we get that information. We also get stuff sometimes directly from the mayor's office. We get stuff from council people and other resources that work for the citizens of our or the residents of our city. So we handle quite a bit of work. We have no shortage of that. So be patient with us, is what I'm saying. Our online folks too. All right. So basically, our initial inspection, we send someone out. They assess the situation. They check to see what the issue is, and they note any potential violations on the property. We send out an owner notification. There's those yellow signs you're talking about. We call them placards. We also send a written notice. By state law, we're only required to send one. We're redundant. We send two. We notify the people of these violations on the property. Then we have a check back inspection. The check back inspection is sometime after they've had the opportunity to take corrective action themselves. If we go back and we send an inspector back and we see no corrective action, there's a potential for them to get a citation issued. These citations are issued and submitted to the court, and the court processes them. So enforcement and penalties, the penalties of these citations, they are Class C misdemeanors here in the state of Texas, meaning they are criminal offenses, and they have to appear in court to answer for those criminal offenses. Again, abatement is city corrective action. We come out if the property qualifies for it and the owner has not taken the appropriate action, the city will do it. We will take corrective action, whether it's mow down a property, as you see in these images here, or whether it's remove a vehicle or correct whatever other action. Again, we abate nuisances. Our minimum standards are not nuisances. We won't go out and fix fences. We won't go out and fix electrical wiring. But what we will do is tear a building down if it qualifies as a nuisance. What we will do is we'll mow a property, and what we will do is we'll pull a car and go crush it. All right, so there's our contact information. Again, if you do have a service request, 311 is your best option. However, we do maintain a call center at 832-394-0600. This is not just the call center for Don IPS. This is the call center for Don. We take in all Don calls. So if you have an issue that you need to get to Don, you can call that main number, and I'm pretty sure we can find everyone that you're looking for to make sure we route your call to the correct people. And we also maintain an online presence, Facebook, Instagram, and I guess they call it X now, not Twitter. And we also have a website here at the HoustonTX.gov/IPS. All right, that's my bit. Any questions, anyone?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
You probably expected that.
Absolutely, I'm good for questions.
When you talk about cars, or does that include like old motor homes that people have put on their property? They got holes in the top, or they're just sitting there. They have become a nuisance to the community.
Right. So if it's a motor vehicle as defined under Texas law, it'll fall under the criteria as a motor vehicle. If it's a trailer, it would probably be dealt with as a structure or an openly stored item. Okay. But if it has a motor, if it's self-propelled, like a motorhome, that would be something that we would deal with as a inoperable vehicle, and if it fits the criteria, as a junk vehicle. So those things, report them via 311, and we'll get somebody out there to take a look at it and see what we're dealing with and move forward with it. Just again, to keep in mind, I know I'm old enough, and a few of us are old enough in here to remember when things took time. Everyone wants everything fast now, right? Because we have the internet. Although you can report them quickly, there's still due process that we have to go through to deal with them. That includes notifying owners. We just can't go do things to people's property unless it's an emergency situation. So we do have to notify them and give them an opportunity to correct them, and that's per the state law. However, there is a process to it. So again, I encourage your patience with our department.
Okay, and the Civic Club send them a letter?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And there is a conjunction with, the Civic Club even reporting these things and kind of handling them too in conjunction. Because if it's something that lines up with ordinance, the Civic Club has a lot more power to hit that, because now you're violating the law. Now the city can partner with you. And that's what this is all about. We partner with. We can't go out and fix everything. We really have to connect with folks who are stakeholders in this thing. And that's most of the time going to be your residents. So partnering with us to help you sort of like thing is what we really strive to do. Not a standalone agency that we just come in and we're the big brother, the bad guy, Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
I've called 311 numerous times in the neighborhood I moved in, and it's a year later. I didn't have plans to stay there that long, but we've had some terrible landlords. I know about the yellow tag, Mr. Moore calling. he's doing more than, I see more than tags up, just in the city, just the area that I'm in the most.
Mhm.
And, I was gonna ask, there's like the boats, and we have bad heavy trash. I kept calling, they came out with 2 trucks.
Mhm.
Cause I told them, I said, there's no way you guys are picking up the heavy trash in this area.
Mhm.
There's even mechanics, they're doing, environmental issues, cause they're dumping oil, tires. I called on them, the dogs. So, no offense to you, but I didn't get any action until I started, and I emailed, Dr. Shabazz office. And we're gonna serve, even the gutters, water filled up to mosquitoes, and they came out and fixed the gutters. Come to find out there was a leakage, and, I know, I can't think, the realtor, I can't think of his name right now, the developer is building houses in that area, so. You know, there's even a sign that says, do not come and dump heavy trash in this area, it's a fine. And there's nothing but heavy trash over there. So when it's heavy trash time, I think, I don't know who it is in the area, they put, cement blocks, tires, big heavy lumber to keep people to come down this particular street on both ends.
Mhm.
But it still has not stopped the people from dumping heavily there.
I'm glad you started to raise your hand, because that's just what I was gonna point to.
I'm gonna come out to your house.
Okay.
You're blocks away from my office, and I'll come out and see what's going on. I know where Rosedale is. My great aunt lives on Rosedale.
It's not on Rosedale, it's, off Cullen and 610.
So just before I sit down, because I know I gotta get out the way, I just wanted to point out one thing to you. Part of the reason why the Mayor's Assistance Office is part of Don is because you just touched on multiple issues across multiple city departments. It's not just our department that handles that. And the Mayor's Assistance Office is in place to kind of rope all that in and kind of get the information to the right places. So I do encourage you to not just reach out to, 311, but to reach out to the Mayor's Assistance Office, because they can touch base with it. I have contact with community liaisons all the time, even though I'm not in the field like I used to be. And kind of like they ask me questions, and I ask them questions, I ask them for help when I go to meetings like this and people bring things up. So that's an excellent resource to kind of rope in those services. Because what you just said, I heard solid waste, I heard HPD, I heard drainage and transportation drainage operations, all in your comments, all of those different things. So we got to rope those in. All right, I'm going to get out the way because I know you guys are time things. But I appreciate you guys listening to me.
Thank you. Okay, so are there any questions for the rest of the Don team? I know I had you guys wait until the end to do so. Okay.
Yeah, a couple of questions on Facebook.
Okay.
Once again, let's go back to the top. I believe this is in regards to the gang prevention. What if the child's school is not a partner? How can we get information about the mayor's student council? The mayor's student council?
The mayor youth council and the gang prevention are two separate, but if you want to answer the question about this.
The mayor's student council, what if your child's school is not a partner? How can we get?
The mayor's, okay, so that's a mayor's youth council question.
That's a question.
Okay, so if the school is not participating in the mayor's youth council, if you could reach out to, and I'll type it here, you can reach out to, reach out to me, because right now we don't have a coordinator for the Mayor's Youth Council. We do, but she doesn't start until next month. Just reach out to me directly, and we can see if it's possible to make that partnership with that school.
And how can we reach you?
I'm typing it in here.
I'm on
Oh.
Facebook, they can't see the chat.
Oh, they can't see, just, they can email me, rachel.gutierrez@houstontx.gov. My phone number is 832-393-0887.
Repeat that, please.
832-393-0887. And you said there was a second question?
Yeah, there are several questions.
Oh, several, okay.
Let's see. When you call 311 about heavy trash violations, you're told that it takes 30 days to remove the trash. Is that?
Brian? I'm sorry, I had a question.
I'm sorry, what's the question?
When you call 311 about heavy trash violations, we are told that they have 30 days to remove the trash.
So that is not correct. As per the ordinance, if they have placed heavy trash improperly, meaning like, for instance, if you place tree waste mixed with other things, is commingled on a tree waste only month, that is a violation. They will get a citation if they send an inspection person out there and establish that that stuff is placed at the wrong time. Now, we probably should have had someone here from 311 to be honest with you, because we do have 311 staff that instruct people to do things that is contrary to what we understand the ordinance to be. That's problematic. I don't know how they do that, because again, we don't work for 311. But yeah, if you have the violation out there, you can actually receive a citation every day that the stuff is present. And people tend to call more than once about the same situation. They only collect once a month, right? But it can't remain. That's part of the violation, so that is definitely not something you want to do.
Another one here. Good morning. There is a large ditch in the community that needs cutting. We were told that this ditch would be taken care of last month. The neighborhood seniors have taken it upon themselves to spray weed killer on the ground. It looks terrible. I spoke with District B council members' office, and it is still undone. I heard her speak about the new machine that's supposed to be cutting. No one has come out to this area to cut. It still looks really bad. It is located at the corner of Winfield Road and Swan River Drive, and I have pictures, and I've sent pictures twice.
What area of District B? Because District B is Fifth Ward, Cashmere, it's East Houston, it's also Acres Home, so which, and Greenspoint. So.
Ms. Ernest, if you're listening online, you can type that over to the comment section on Facebook.
I think we're going to take this home.
Okay.
If I could just add something, part of it, and I know it can get frustrating when you're trying to report this, when you don't know how to route that stuff, or know how to get it there. One of the issues is to establish where the property is located, for us to identify property. Because you can physically see something, it doesn't always equate to actually being identified as a piece of land. You do have easements, you do have right-of-ways that do not show up in the Harris Appraisal District for those particular areas that we're talking about right now, because they're part of, actually, it can be part of where a street was supposed to go, a proposed street, or it is, additional easement when they purchase their land to build streets. And part of the issue is establishing where it actually is, and if it's actually a piece of land that is not owned by a government entity. And if it is owned by a government entity, establishing who owns it, sometimes that requires a bit more research. County owns land, the state owns land, the city owns land, and it's not private property. Those issues tend to be a little bit more challenging. That's why we need to get, kind of as best information you can in terms of addresses, but that may be one of those scenarios. But in any case, the mayor's assistance office is here for you.
She said it's Riverwood Estates subdivision.
Okay, Riverwood, okay. That would be my area. I'll follow up with, it says Riverwood Estates, okay.
And
If she could.
she will email it to Sandra.
Cool.
Okay.
I have one question. I called in the other day, about illegal dumping, and I videotaped two guys, which they told me to go mind my own business, go give me some business. And, so I called it in, and, a person actually called me back, and he left a number for me to call him, but when I called the number, it says, this number does not work.
Is it a city employee?
Yeah, it's 832-394-3430.
Do you know the name of the person that you spoke to?
Well, I still have, he left me a message.
Okay, just, we can,
Rachel, I just want to check one more thing again. I don't want to keep interrupting you guys, but just understand that the Department of Neighborhoods, particularly especially Public Service Division, does not deal specifically with illegal dumping. Illegal dumping is the responsibility of the police department as well as solid waste management. Okay, so they do have an environmental unit within the police department who handles illegal dumping. Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes, that's
Yeah.
that's the person that
That's
called.
called you, yeah.
So when I called him back, the number he left, is not connected.
All right. Yeah, Mr. Pugh could probably help you because we can get you in touch with those folks. Again, if they're calling you back, they're trying to get some information from you moving forward with it. Illegal dumping, again, is a law enforcement issue. It's illegal. It is a crime to illegally dump, as well as a solid waste issue, and they do have mechanisms in place to deal with that.
Maybe just called me, like I was a toll on you.
Please be careful. I don't encourage you to confront people. If you can get evidence of it, from a distance, do it safely. I don't even do it, and I'm a former police officer from another state. I don't approach people directly. If I can sit back and photograph and get my stuff, I'll forward it to, some people who deal with it.
Okay, that's all I have on this.
okay, I was made aware, I apologize. We have some visitors here from Verizon. So, if you got, yes, if I can have you representative come to the front and speak a little bit about, I was told somebody wants to volunteer. No? Yeah.
Sure, I
Okay.
can go.
Okay.
I will.
Yeah.
Or you wanna go? Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Go.
When we're not done, I need to talk to y'all about this. I'm
Just
trying to get something new.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ariana. I'm with Icon Mobile. This is our team. We recently just joined the neighborhood. I think we have 2 locations, and we just want to be interacting with the neighborhood and helping out. It's a very affordable program. It really helps people out, especially when it comes to if they need like phones that are not so expensive. So that's why we came out and reached out. We actually spoke to, I think, Roman. I think he left already. And he gave us information about the meetings and stuff. But yeah, I have my team here. I think the stores are literally like a few blocks away from here, one. And then there's another one that's also a few blocks away. So that's it. Do you guys have any questions for us?
Do you guys have any special programs for people who,
They actually they had a program which was called ACP. They're actually working, they're actually working because it's gonna end actually in May.
Right.
They stopped it in February. We're initiating applications, but they're working on having something more going through it because I know a lot of people. We have a lot of customers that are relying from that program because some are even getting their bills paid like fully because I think the minimum plan is like $30 or so. So their plans were getting paid throughout that program. So we're really hoping on them to bring out something more for it or continue with it.
Right.
Or we also send out emails about like actually us doing something about it, like Total by Verizon, like doing their own programs for those people, so we don't lose those customers out.
Right, because I think ACP is through the city, right?
Yeah, that's through the government.
So does Verizon have any Verizon specific products to help?
Right now they don't, but they are in it. Like so, they joined the program.
Gotcha.
So they are working on doing some like substitution program for it. We haven't got a confirmation about it, but there's some good news about it.
Sounds good.
You guys do internet too, or just phones?
Yeah, they also do home internet. Yeah, same thing as
Also,
well.
they would give them like
And the good thing
$9.95
about it, they don't do like contracts, you know, when they get you in this like 8-year, 5-year, 3-year contracts. It's just the month-to-month people. If people can't pay, can't force them.
And one more thing, sorry, our locations in the specific, one of them is 5 minutes away from here, and it's on 9441 Cullen. We do have our specific, senior discount. We offer a lot of free phones, so don't be skeptical just walking in. Just by you coming and visiting our store, even if you're not switching and you're just doing a new line, we offer a free phone. So I'm sure you'll have someone out there that might be in need of a phone and they cannot pay for it. And we offer different plans, we offer payment plans, and like I said, we do offer a value senior discount that we give specifically at that location because we're new and we want to help the community.
Sounds good, thank you.
Thanks. All right. Well, as far as the Department of Neighborhoods is concerned, that will conclude our meeting for today. We, for those online, thank you so much for being patient as well as those in person. This is a new setup that we have here as far as Sunnyside and the classroom. So I appreciate your patience with us, and we will be able to see you on next month, where we will be at a different location, but always providing resources available to the community. But we appreciate your time. Nia, if you have anything, do you have anything else?
No, coffee and conversation is held the fourth Tuesday of every month. Like Bridget said, in a different area, so we hope you guys will be able to join. And if you have questions about another neighborhood, another area, feel free to join.
Yes. So we thank you, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Restart.
Okay, you want to
Yeah, you can just disconnect
I was trying to
everything.
click out of here, but it's, but it's blocking the